I got Don's.
I got Bishop.
I got yours.
My name change.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thought it was a secret Santa or something.
I don't think you give one to the right person at all there, Nick.
Okay, we are live. So we'll call the meeting to order. This is a recessed meeting. First item will be approval of the agenda. I have a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? None? Agenda is approved. So for this item tonight, it's variance 25-0003. It's a quasi-judicial hearing. The county attorney has advised me that because the applicant, B.B. Hamilton, is a client of mine, that I need to recuse myself for the vote. And so I'm going to turn over the this portion of the meeting to our Vice President, Marty Martin. And I want to say I cannot make comment or anything, so even though you may have otherwise presented me, things to me, if you'll propose any questions or anything to the board. And Scott asked that I would request a motion to allow me to recuse myself for this vote.
Motion.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Marty?
Do they need to come first?
Nick.
Nick.
So, as was alluded to. Apologies. As alluded to, this is a variance hearing tonight, identified as VAR 25-0003. So just as a reminder, and it's in your staff report, variances are quasi-judicial items, and they require that certain findings be demonstrated by the applicant and that you find that these findings have been met. They are in your agenda packets, but just to remind you that these items, all of which have to be met for a variance to be granted. In doing so, the applicant can submit evidence in support of those findings to help you make your determination. As you issue your determination, you may issue conditions related to approval, should you go that route. And then for variances, it requires 4/5 majority. Now, since Boothby has recused himself, 4/5 for, in this case, will be 5 members will need to vote in concurrence to grant this variance. As a reminder, this variance does run with the land in perpetuity. It is not just for this applicant. It will run with the land. Okay. So moving forward and getting past those aspects of it, as I said, it is a variance heard and denied by the planning board. It's evidentiary hearing or quasi-judicial. Persons with standing can speak on the matter. Those without standing can speak at the pleasure of the board. If my clicker will work. So this variance in particular is related to Old Pond Mobile Home Park. More specifically, the lots or sites identified as 23 and 43 Ashbury Road in Wadesboro. And the variance requested is in relation to the standards set forth for a Class B manufactured home. So the applicant has proffered that the application of the literal standards of the ordinance creates an undue hardship due to financial reasons and in relation to aesthetic continuity of the mobile home park, since many of the or all of the existing structures have metal underpinning as they currently exist. So just to kind of give you a general overview of the property, this is zoomed in. The property is much larger than this image shows. So I did zoom in, so this is not the full parcel. So just be aware. And again, it's for lots 23 and 43 of the Old Pond Mobile Home Park. This is how the site exists currently. And I do believe my batteries are dying. Sorry. Now, there are several photos, several dozen in your packet. I didn't put them in my staff report because the applicant is also going to demonstrate photos. So you'll get a closer look in their presentation. But when we're looking at the variance in regards to their request, it's in relation to the definition of Class B manufactured home, which is where the standards exist. In relation to the highlighted sections, in regards to what material is acceptable for underpinning. Right now, Class Bs are limited to masonry underpinning and an underpinning that is faux masonry or faux bricks. One of the common ones we see in terms of trademark names is K-Rock. That's probably the most prevalent one. Applicant would like to use metal, and that's what their request is, to request a variance from this provision so that they can install heavy gauge metal as an acceptable form of underpinning. And again, since that's not currently approved, they're requesting the variance to do so. Again, just to kind of reiterate everything that's been stated so far, they're looking to use metal because it's not an approved material under the regulations of Class B manufactured homes. I will need to change batteries, I believe. There we go. So at this point, and as a reminder, within variances, because they are seeking relief from the standards of the ordinance, which my department is responsible for enforcing, and because certain findings of fact have to be demonstrated, generally we don't, my department in this county and many others don't provide a recommendation. We leave that to the applicant to present their case to the board to demonstrate that the findings of fact have or have not been met. So there is no particular recommendation from my department other than guidance on the ordinance. So at this point, I will turn it over to the applicant. And earlier, I did provide you with supplemental materials that the applicant has provided you. Although I made a mistake and gave everyone the wrong packet, but I'm glad we got that sorted out. But at this point, I will turn it over to the applicant. They're in the PowerPoint. It's already started.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Planning Commission, Mr. Planning Director, and Mr. Forbes. My name is Bill Nagel. I'm a resident of Anson County. I'm a personal friend and a business associate of Ms. Hamilton. Because of my past experience as a commercial real estate broker, a general contractor, a former land and property developer, and former planning commissioner for the combined jurisdictions of the city of Dalton, Georgia, and Whitfield County, Georgia, Ms. Hamilton asked that I represent her variance request. For the record, I would like to read 5 community supportive letters, and I would ask these letters be entered into the record. First is from Ms. Hamilton. Dear members, after reviewing your recent July 10th planning meeting regarding the materials allowing for skirting on Anson County mobile homes, I'm requesting that you approve my application for variance to add neutral color coordinated 22 or 26 gauge heavy duty roofing metal for skirting materials to the last 2 mobile homes being set up in my mobile home park, Old Pond Mobile Home Park, Wadesboro. Currently, this material is not listed in the county regulations. This heavy duty roofing material has been used for over 24 years in skirting in my mobile home park. Is durable, safe, and attractive. It has remained sturdy and still looks very nice since 2001 when I began managing the park. Old Pond Mobile Home Park has had a great reputation with all past county inspectors through the past 24 years who have all commented frequently to me about the park's excellent condition. This park of 9 half-acre lots is an example of the newly painted exteriors, well-maintained homes, roof-covered decks, shrubbery, well-kept yards. The consistency of quality metal skirting on all the homes enhances the aesthetics of the neighborhood. I have high standards for rental properties in the mobile home park. Because of these high standards, I recently had to evict 2 residents who were not keeping their homes and yards presentable, and now I am in the process of replacing and installing 2 more mobile homes on these lots, lots 1 and 2. 7 other homes in the park that I have maintained since 2001, all having heavy-duty metal skirting, all color coordinated with the exterior color of the homes, all neutral colors. Therefore, I'm asking for your vote to allow me to use metal skirting on these last 2 mobile homes being set up to match the other 7 mobile homes in the park that have heavy-duty metal skirting. For a property owner to have to install brick underpinning, which is extremely expensive, or the fake rock underpinning, which is made of fiberglass type material, as suggested in county regulation, is most impractical. These materials would be most expensive and unaffordable for property owners, costing us a minimum of around $8,000 to $10,000 per home for the skirting. These expensive materials overcompensate more affordable and still structurally sound underpinning that the steel heavy-duty metal roofing materials can provide. Heavy-duty metal roofing material costs approximately $2,000 per home. We need to provide good, affordable homes in Anson County renters, and only giving us the options of brick or fake rock underpinning increases the cost for landlords, which is then passed on to renters. Brick rock underpinning makes it almost unaffordable to provide affordable housing in the county. I would appreciate your full support on this issue, as I have had to apply for a $400 variance that will allow me to install 22 and 26 gauge heavy-duty roofing material for skirting on my last 2 replacement mobile homes in Old Pond Mobile Home Park. This $400 variance is in addition to Anson County zoning inspection permits, which has cost me $508 for each mobile home, totaling $1,016. County fees for the 2 mobile homes waiting to be set up since April 2025. In addition, more expenses will include grading lots, new roofing, new front and back covered decks, new HVAC units, interior and exterior painting, new flooring, new electrical, new plumbing, and interior renovations of bathrooms and kitchens. Waiting for this process to be completed, I also have forfeited rent income since April 25. In addition, this long process has blocked me providing needed housing for 2 prospective Anson County families. Brick underpinning prevents mobile home owners from ever moving or disposing of their mobile homes due to the age or damages that cannot be repaired. Brick underpinning prevents the mobile home owners from replacing the older damaged mobile homes with newer models if needed in the future. With brick underpinnings, they no longer are mobile homes but become permanent homes. Brick underpinning prevents the mobility of a mobile home with no flexibility to dispose of and to upgrade the home or to move the mobile home to another location if desired. In summary, brick underpinning on mobile homes is impractical compared to steel. Steel metal roofing material is durable, safe, and attractive for many years. Steel metal roofing is more economical for the owners and prospective tenants. Steel metal roofing can be color coordinated with mobile home exteriors. Steel metal roofing provides mobility and flexibility if a mobile home needs to be moved due to aging or damages that cannot be repaired. Steel metal roofing provides mobility and flexibility if the mobile home needs to be moved to another location. A plat of the Old Pond Mobile Home Park, Waysboro, and pictures of individually mobile homes in the park have been distributed to each planning board member prior to the September 2nd, 2025 meeting that exhibited high standards and improvements in maintenance practice. An aerial photo of the park exhibiting its beautiful country setting will also be presented in the upcoming meeting. This next letter is to the planning board from Betty Hightower Hamilton. During your July 10th, 2025 planning meeting, it was mentioned by a member that brick underpinning on mobile homes would bring a more tax revenue for the county. I'm finding this to be true for me, but is a negligible amount as compared to 2 double wides I own in the county on private properties. One double wide has brick underpinning I was required to install years ago to its close location to Wadesboro town limits. The other double wide has been steel underpinning that does not have brick underpinning. It is located miles away from Wadesboro town limits. Taxes this year on a double wide with underpinning are $594.52. Double wide with steel underpinning, the taxes are $545.63. The difference of these two amounts is $48.89, again, a negligible amount. Also, may be of concern of the planning board that two mobile homes in which I'm requesting a variance to use mobile skirting won't bring in enough taxes. I would like to offer that I pay close to $20,000 in property taxes each year to help support this county. Therefore, this is another reason I'm asking for your vote to pass this variance and support my request. Sincerely, Betty Hamilton. This next letter is to the Anson County Planning Board, and it's from Representative Hilltop Acres, John Green. On behalf of Hilltop Acres community, which include approximately the first half mile of Robertson Ridge Road area, we fully support the variance request from Betty Hightower to allow steel underpinning in her mobile home park. Our community has been well established for 40 years and have been neighbors to both Betty Hightower and the rental property she owns and manages, along with the mobile home park. We challenge the planning board members to find a more well-managed mobile home park that exists in Old Pond Mobile Home Park. Ms. Hightower has a zero tolerance for tenants which do not abide in park rules, requires her homes to be kept in a pristine manner, and does not allow for unkept landscaping surrounding the park. She often speaks with the community about the issues with her properties, and we have never had any issues resolving conflict as a community. Between the Hightower family and our community, the goal has always been to preserve the beauty and safety of our area. We believe requiring brick or fake rock underpinning would undermine the current standards she holds. Also, some of us see value in these requirements for standalone mobile homes that are used for primary residences. We all fully agree mobile home parks should be exempt from this requirement. If this were the case, she would not be able to easily replace and dispose of these homes as needed when they become beyond repair and no longer attractive to the community, thus making the value of our community lessen. Another direct negative would more likely increase the rent costs for tenants to cover the more costly expensive required in this. We ask you please consider what the community wants to see and the beauty of our standards area remain. Best regards, Tyler Green, Hilltop Acres representative. To the Anson County Planning and Zoning Department, we are writing this to support Ms. Betty Hamilton's request for a variance on her property, Old Palm Mobile Home Park. The homes are neat and well maintained, and her reasoning to have continuity of all current skirting material apply to replacement homes there makes good sense and would be advantageous to both her and the families who occupy the properties. As nearby homeowners, we appreciate her attention in maintaining Old Pond Mobile Home Park in an excellent manner, and so we would urge you to consider and grant her request. Thank you, Carl and Julie Griffin. To the Anson County Planning Department. Dear members, in the case of Ms. Hamilton, I sold one of my rental properties to her a few years back. The property happens to be in front of my current home place. Ms. Hamilton redone the whole trailer to her specifications. The trailer was already underpinned with metal skirting, but Ms. Hamilton removed it to put metal skirt to match the paint color of the trailer. With the new makeover, I know personally the property is to be maintained under strict rules as are written in each rental contract. I grew up in a family of farmers. Nurturing and maintaining the land, structures, and equipment are one of my passions. I would never have sold front property to Ms. Hamilton if I thought she would not keep it in order and attractive to Capel Dairy Road property. No matter whether the tenant or the outside lawn service manages property, there are strict guidelines to be followed. Nicking, cutting, or beating the whole underpinning trailer skirt area not allowed without consequences. I know this all too well, having been down this road until Miss Hamilton trying to help another neighbor that is in her tenant also. My late brother, Kenny Capel, sold his home and property to Miss Hamilton for rental also. I have her tenants on both sides of my place and am aware of the contracted rules these tenants are expected to maintain properties at. Without fault, these properties are matched, making sure respect is given where due. I'm proud to know Ms. Hamilton is the landlord of these properties surrounding me. However, with these changes you want to enforce, those would be several negative impacts. Landlord increasing rents due to expenses, tenants are deterred for excessive rent costs. The county's population continues to decline along with the economy. Mobile homes are versatile structures, and brick underpinning takes away from the manufactured feature. One and foremost, the citizens of Anson County are forced into an unsafe, dangerous environment without neighbors to look out for each other. Please reconsider your proposal and find other measures for cleanup of already eyesores in our county. Sincerely, Nancy Capel. And finally, to whom it may concern, my name is David Knipe. I rent a mobile home from Betty Hamilton. I have never known her to do anything but take good care of her properties. Do not understand why you want to make her go the entire experience of brick underpinning in older mobile homes, which makes no sense. This is my opinion, David Knipe. I would like those 5 letters be,
I didn't want to interrupt you. Would you mind being sworn? We should have done that before that, and I assume that your testimony to this point has been under oath, or you consider yourself under oath?
yes, I do.
All right, would you please raise your right hand? I apologize for interrupting y'all's meeting, but I want to make sure this happened all right. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And have you told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth, as far as you've understood it so far?
I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was an oversight on my part. I apologize. Thank you, sir.
Now, I'm not too good at this. We'll just see how it works. I have some photos and an aerial of the park we're talking about. And I'll make comments along the way. This is one example of the steel underpinning in our homes at the park. Notice the large lots, well maintained. All decks are painted the same color. Again, more examples. This is a couple of residents that have the brick underpinning, the landscaping that's provided. And if I move too fast, tell me. Again, another example of the mobile homes that we have available at the mobile home park. Again, noticing the continuity of everything out there and the neatness of the park in itself. There are a total of 9 units there. Will be 9 units from the 2 that are being finished out. This is an aerial of the park, as well as some more examples of mobile homes themselves. You can notice there's no clutter, there's no garbage, there's no transmissions, there's no dogs scratching their ears laying around. It's just a good example of a well-maintained, prideful piece of property. We maintain that if we won't live there, nobody will live there. This is Old Palm Mobile Home. I guess I just press the next button and it goes.
It should start if you hit the button on the bottom left. It's got a little triangle.
Okay. Oops. What did I do? Okay. This is an aerial view of a mobile home park. Now I'd like to answer any questions concerning construction methods, construction materials, construction costs for both brick underpinning and the proposed indicated in the variance that we're applying for.
Appreciate your presentation. Board, y'all have any questions? And Nick, you did say this variance would not be specific to them, it would be countywide if it was.
No. This, this variance would be specific to their
Their property.
request, so it would only apply, in fact, the way it was, presented, it wouldn't even apply to the whole mobile home park. It would only apply to lots 23 and 43.
Okay.
So it would not apply to anything beyond lots 23 and 43 of Ashbury Road. Ashbury.
Old Palm Mobile Home Park.
Correct. So it would not go beyond that. Now, like I said earlier at the opening, as with any variance, all findings do need to be demonstrated. So I think it's on page 2 of your packet. If you kind of want to use that as a guide for what questions you may need to ask to demonstrate those findings that wasn't already addressed by the applicant's presentation.
Is he still giving evidence?
Questions?
Always get.
My biggest concern or question, that's probably not a question, but on A of the variance procedure there, that the alleged hardships and difficulties are unique and singular for this particular property, and not those suffered in common with other properties similarly located. That seems like to me if all manufactured home owners are gonna have the same issue as far as the financial aspect is concerned. I don't see if that's gonna be a singular thing for this particular property. I see it being more for everybody.
I agree with that.
So in my opinion, it doesn't meet the requirements.
I agree with A. Also B, I can't see how this request for variance, the rules say that we have to, that all 5 of these, A through E, have to be met. And especially B, I can't see how this request meets B.
It doesn't inhibit the ability to use the land.
That's right. My question to Nick would be, these five issues here, is that written by the legislature or the Institute of Government?
It's built off of 160D 705 for standards that have, or findings in fact that have to be met. So yes, it is from state statute.
And the paragraph above A says it has to meet all 5 of these. The request has to meet all 5 of these.
That is correct, and then again, that goes back to state statute.
Unless the variance is approved, correct?
All 5 findings have to be met to grant the variance, and it has to be voted on by the supermajority. So yes. So anytime an applicant pursues a variance, they have to demonstrate all the findings of fact have been met before a variance can be granted. Yes. And again, that's set by state statute.
Since we're a pre-existing mobile home park with 7 units there and putting 2 more in there to comply with the way that continuity of the other 7, total of 9, to me, it would make more sense to the continuity of the park, as you can see through pictures, through aerials, through presentations, that we maintain our parks. Brick underpinning costs about $10,000 each unit, which really erodes the ability to rent at an affordable rent base as established in Anson County. In order to absorb that cost, these would be placed out of the reach of a lot of people. We've had tenants out there for 5 to 10 years. And we're simply asking for the continuity to be continued with what we have already. The last one being done in March of 2024.
Do you guys have any plan beyond the 2 that you're on hold for?
Lord, no. No, sir.
And I agree with you, it is a very neat, well-kept mobile home park. But our fear when we came up with this was everybody doesn't have the appearance that you guys do. And that's what we were after with the brick underpinning, not, just, some folks may would put a piece of red tin, a piece of green tin,
Understood.
but, I mean, y'all have went beyond that. I mean, y'all do have a very, good-looking mobile home park. I'm glad y'all take the pride in it that you do.
Well, as I stated earlier, the quality of the homes are good, and we explained to the tenants if we won't live there ourselves, then nobody's going to live there. So we keep the standards up high. We maintain the standards. We visit the park daily, and there's no leniency in noncompliance of what is stated in the rental agreement.
So, God forbid that you would have a fire in one of your mobile homes. I'm assuming you would replace that if it happened?
Perhaps, yes.
And then you would have to ask for another variance on that piece of property?
That's correct. I'm assuming that's the case if one burns down.
That is correct.
Again, with that aspect, to answer your question further, it continues with the continuity that's already been established there. I mean, 22, 26 gauge steel is strong. It's roofing material. We put a pre-treated ground type plate anchored in the ground. We built framing to go to the bottom of the trailer. We put framing at the top, and then we use deck screws on the roof to attach it to the framing that's been provided. It's like a wall that's underneath there, a pressure-treated material that is anchored to the ground and to the trailer above, and then the metal screws are screwed into the metal roof. I have seen a lot of lackadaisical kinds of things in front of mobile homes underpinnings, from pallets to trash cans to that kind of thing, but that's not how we do business.
Any further discussion or questions for the board?
I would just like to say I'm very impressed with your mobile home park.
Thank you.
However, there are at least 2 mobile home parks, probably within a mile of yours, that are not desirable.
I understand, I know what you're talking about, but in all due respect, I can't control what they do.
Right, and if we approve this, what's to keep them from coming and wanting to do,
The same procedure in the same format
don't-
and the same,
Yeah,
and the same presentation that we have done.
we just opened up a can of worms, I think.
Well, you have the opportunity to vote anything up or down,
Right.
but it's an individual case as indicated. I am concerned about the appearance of Anson County. I cannot take on the responsibility of maintaining other mobile home parks. And we have quite a bit to do with what we have now, and that's why we keep the standards as we are. If a person comes to present himself for variance, he has to go through the same exercises that we've gone through.
Well, let me just say this. I've been a licensed electrical contractor since the early nineties. And the code book, an electrical code book, went from this thick to this thick now.
Right.
And every 3 years, the code is renewed, state board. And there have been a lot of things as a licensed contractor that I disagree with. But not a whole lot I could do about it. It's done in Raleigh, and we've got a set of rules here that we're supposed to go by. So,
Unless a variance is granted.
unless the variance is granted, but
This is, we're not talking about continuity for the entire county. We're talking about continuity of 2 trailers to fit in with the other 7 that we have there.
Now, my question, I guess, would be for my other board members, and that is, do you feel that even after you brought it up, that A has been justified? Since it's, each one of these 5 have to be in order to vote for the variance.
I don't think A or B has been
I agree. I don't think A or B
A or
has been
B
met.
has not been verified.
Any further discussion?
I just want to add one comment. I know what we do and how we do it, and we do it well. Obviously better than anybody else in the county. I don't want to have to entertain the next step, but I will. And it's a common sense, right or wrong kind of thing. I don't want to go to Superior Court, but we will. And I just feel that we're being most fair. We present a good product. We have lifelong tenants. And again, I emphasize, I'm not concerned with the other mobile home parks in their upkeeping, although I can't control what they do. That would be a ride around in the car with the zoning aspect. I would say there's probably a lot of mobile homes being moved in. The city of Wadesboro has different standards than Anson County. City of Polkton has different standards than Anson County. And you see city property butting up to county property, and often in the city property, the exhibition of what is there is far from anything close to what product we present.
Any further discussion from the board? Well, I guess at this time, the motion of the board to approve or not approve the variance.
If you would close the hearing first, so there'd be no more evidence presented, is it, if you?
Yeah.
I don't want to offend, I'm just asking.
Not at all.
Do you have any more evidence, ma'am?
No.
Could I just say something?
Sure.
This is a repeat, I guess, of what Bill has said.
No, I think what he said, if you can give factual evidence.
This is factual. I'm a senior citizen. I'm about done with bringing in trailers to the county, even on private property. These are the last 2 mobile homes that I'll probably renovate. I've been doing this for 26 years. These are the last 2, and all we're asking is a variance on these last 2. We're not trying to control anybody else's trailer park or do anything to say that when they want to do the same or leave vinyl siding or whatever they do, we're not saying that this has anything to do with their parks. But I'm just asking your support just for 2 trailers out there, my last 2 that I'll ever do. I would appreciate your support. And this, I'll be done with renovating trailers after this. And if they come in and want to change or need to, someone was concerned about them having to, not having to do or follow the regulations, we have nothing to do with what they would have to do. They would have to go through the same process. So I don't see how what we're going through has anything to do with them. But I just appreciate your support.
Thank you, Ms. Hamilton.
Is there any more evidence? I believe an appropriate motion to close the hearing.
I would take a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And you would debate, and the standards, if you will, the standards are right here, it's under 160A dash 388. It's on your second page, 1 of 29. Mr. Anderson, it says the variance procedure. You have 5 questions. Okay. Practical difficulties is a variance may only be allowed by the Board of Adjustment, that's y'all, in cases of involving practical difficulties or unnecessary hardships when substantial evidence is provided in the official record that supports each of the following findings. And those 5 findings right there, you need to ask, if you give the variance, will it coincide with each one of these standards, or would it not meet these standards here?
As we talked about before, I think that A and B standards.
I agree.
Everyone would speak into your mic, please, because it's being recorded.
Okay. As we have discussed before, I do not think that it meets, the request meets the both A or B standards set forth here.
Y'all would debate, and then at the time, you would decide.
I
who would
agree.
make a motion. Someone would make a motion to approve or disapprove, and then you would, then y'all would take a vote on that. There needs to be some discussion and findings of fact so that you can build a record to support what you're saying.
Could I ask for A and B to be read?
Marty?
Could I ask for A and B to be read?
You can ask, yes. I'll read them if y'all would like. I'll read all 5 standards if you'd like.
Well, there was only 2 in question.
Okay. That the alleged hardships or practical difficulties are unique and singular as regards to the property of the person requesting the variance and are not those suffered in common with other property similarly located. Letter B, that the alleged hardships and practical difficulties which will result from failure to grant the variance extend to the inability to use the land in question for any use in conformity with the provision of this ordinance and include substantially more than mere inconvenience and inability to attain a higher financial return. Letter C, that the variance, if allowed, will not substantially interfere or injure the rights of others whose property would be affected by allowance of the variance. Letter D, that the variance is in harmony with this ordinance and serves the general intent and purpose. Letter E, that allowing the variance will result in substantial justice being done, considering both the public benefits intended to be secured by this ordinance and the individual hardships that will be suffered by a failure of the Board of Adjustment to grant the variance. Each one of those criteria must be met.
I don't have anything else.
I guess I'm misunderstanding the word hardship. What does that mean? Does it mean that we can't do it,
Well, I believe it's a substantial, I don't want to give you, it says alleged hardships, which is what you have claimed, and practical difficulties, which will result from failure to grant the variance, extend to the inability to use the land. So that would be the hardship, not just a financial hardship. Inability to use the land is, ours, as letter B reads.
I don't know, $10,000 versus, or $20,000 versus $4,000.
Excuse me, the hearing has been closed. This is only for you. There's no new evidence can be admitted. I'm not being rude, I'm just saying that's the rules of a quasi judicial hearing.
So no question. No question.
Correct. Follow my rules.
Board, do y'all have any further discussion?
I just don't think it meets A and B, in my opinion. And that's my personal opinion, is it doesn't meet A or B, so, I mean, I don't see how we can approve it.
Totally agree.
Yes, with that being said, I would need a motion to, sounds like, not approve the variance due to the conditions not being met. Someone wants to make that?
Second?
I was,
You
yeah, I was
making
putting
a
it,
motion?
no.
Okay. I'll make a motion to not approve it based on A and B. It doesn't meet what the state requires us as planning board people to approve, so it does not meet it, so I say we do not approve it.
Got a motion, need a second. Second. Got a motion and a second, not to approve the variance. Do I need to word it any?
His motion stated it was due to A and B.
Okay.
The-
There's no vote?
They're voting now.
I mean, no roll call vote?
They're voting now.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Can I get, just so I can have it for the record, can you raise your hands on aye? Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. The majority voting to deny, I guess this time the variance isn't granted.
That is correct. The variance has been denied.
Keep this.
That
So I can turn it back over to Jeff now.
That is
That
correct.
wraps up the quasi judicial hearing item, so I'll resume as chairman. As on all our agendas, we have a opportunity for public comments, and being that the applicants are here, the only members of the public, if y'all would like to make a comment, this is the time where you have the opportunity to, outside of, whatever you'd like to say. It doesn't, the variance decision has been made, but if you'd like make any comments at this point, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we'll continue to.
I guess the only question I have is a question to the county attorney. And,
Could you approach the podium?
I guess the only question that I have is a question to the county attorney. And I don't know the path to Superior Court, so I guess I apply and file in Superior Court.
I can't give you appeals advice, but I believe the next venue is to file at the Superior Court, but you would have to research that yourself.
Okay.
I believe that is the next venue, though, for a variance override.
And you would be representing the county?
If the county, I believe I would be representing the county,
Okay.
yes, unless they hire new or other counsel. They can do it.
As a county attorney, you'd be representing them, though?
If they hire me to do that, I'm a contract attorney. I just don't want to mislead you at all.
I understand. I'm just
Okay.
asking questions because I don't know.
I may be the one that represents them, or they may hire someone else to do it.
Okay.
Any other public comments? Okay, then item 5, if we have any other reports or matters of discussion, Nick, is there anything you need to get off of your desk for us?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay.
You know what, actually, I will say, next month, we will have another variance hearing, most likely. So just make sure we have supermajority present to render a vote.
What is the date of that meeting?
October 9th, I do believe.
Okay. Everybody will put that on your calendars. All right, well, being that all matters have been handled, we will go to adjournment. I need to get a motion to adjourn or just say we're adjourning?
Motion, please.
Motion to adjourn
Motion.
and second?
Second.
All right, we got a motion and second. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise? We are adjourned.
Hit that blue